Hello, this is Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I am recording this on March 21st. It's the morning hours, 8 a.m. or so, and I want to do a market open, pre-open kind of talk, all right, so everyone knows that Credit Suisse was bought by UBS. And markets started to stabilize yesterday. Remember I said what happens in Europe, what I said yesterday, what happens in Europe will translate into the trading and will either rally or will go down. We did rally yesterday, and there's stabilization in the news. There's a little bit about First Republic and some of the shenanigans going over there, but relatively to big banks, it's stable, all right? There's not that much stress in the commercial paper market, and the futures markets have been trading higher, okay? So what does that mean? Again, I take a look at your different risk indexes, but the key ones that I look at, what's happening with the yen, what's happening with VIX, and what's happening in oil, all right? Because oil is a good commodity barometer, VIX is a good barometer for equities, and yen is a good barometer for overall global risk, especially in the currency market. All right, last night, the euro has been strengthening relatively to the USD. That's a positive sign. But I look more towards the yen. Yen also weakened, which is a good sign. So both of those currencies show that markets should go up. VIX right now in after hours trading is at 22. That's in the low end. Remember I said that when you're at the high, when you're like the high 20 mark, like 28, 29, or in the 30s, then you're going to have a lot of volatility. So it's been straight down in after hours. So that means that the equity market is going to go up. Now in the futures market for the S&P 500, that is also in after hours trading up. Good sign. Okay. So what do we do here? Okay, so S&P 500 is trading over 4,000 right now. Now, remember what I said. There are two Fibonacci sequences. One that's tied to the low during COVID, to the absolute high point for the S&P 500, and the low point in 2015 to the absolute high point in the S&P 500. And when you take a look at the 38% retracement, Fibonacci's look at retracement positions, 20, whatever, what is it, the 23rd position? Yeah, the 23rd position, the 28, right? The 50, the 68. So it's a golden ratio. So when you look at those retracement lines, as they can be either support levels or ceilings, depending on how you build the Fibonacci. So there are two very important support levels: 38% retracement for the COVID Fib and the 38% retracement for the 2015 Fib. That's about 3,800, and the other one is around 3,600. All right. Those are very strong support levels. So chances of the market going beyond that, as long as we don't have a Lehman moment, which we haven't yet, the market will fluctuate, may test the 38% retracement on either of the Fibonacci's, most likely just the COVID Fibonacci, but it'll go up. So this is why I keep on saying that when the market, if you're investing, when the markets have a down day, invest. because it's pretty safe and you're building a base and then it'll go up. That's assuming that you have cash on hand. Okay, so I'm assuming that people have cash on hand today. If people have cash on hand, all the markers are showing buy. Now, I'm a macro investor, a trader, really, macro trader. I look at things on a macro scale. So I look at indexes, you know, and I look at commodities. I prefer the commodity because of volatility, all right? So if you're paying attention to me, equities are going to go up. That means that you could either go in the S&P 500, SPY, and that is a non-leveraged, easy to purchase ETF. That'll go up today, most likely. All the indicators are looking like it's going up. So again, take a look at what's going on in the first 15 minutes of trading, and that there's volatility there. It's up and down, up and down. Those candles are pretty big, and then it stabilizes, and then put in your position. Okay, so if you're a little bit more risk taking, you can get a 2x leverage position using SPXL. That's SPXL. That is longing 2x for I think it's 2x for the S&P 500. Maybe it's 3x. Hold on. Let me double check. I think it's 2x. No, it's 3x. It's 3x. So so SPXL will be a 3x position, and it will capture that volatility going upward. All right. You know, when the market's moving up, that ETF will go up. If the market's going down, get SPXS. So that's shorting the market. So that's when the market's going down, you buy it, and that ETF will go up. So that's a great way to play either way. Market's going up, SPXL. Market going down, SPXS. And that's how you make money that way. And you do everything I'm saying is an intraday type of situation, unless you're an investor and you want to buy and hold. You don't want to buy and hold a leveraged position. It's risky. So if you're a buy and hold type person, and then you know, you can buy SPY in this situation if you want to buy equities. I'm not going to tell you different entry points for individual stocks because they're idiosyncratic. There's idiosyncratic risks. I don't purchase individual stocks anymore. I do indexes and commodities. Okay, so again, I put a position in when there was a big sell-off in oil on Thursday. And remember, I've been saying that the way to play the oil market, you can go into gush if it's going up. So you look at the WTI futures. CL is the call letter, the ticker. So the WTI futures, and for the current contract, because you can go different months out. For the current contract, look at the futures. Is it look like it's oversold? Then buy gush. If it looks like it's running a little high in terms of cost per barrel, then you buy drip. So when if the market is going up with oil, gush will go up. It's a 2x leverage position. If oil market is going down, WTI, if that's going down, then drip will go up. That's the short position. So I put a position in when oil broke the 70 mark and started normalizing at about 60. I think it was around 64. So what that did was it forced gush to drop down below 100. That's when I bought, because gush is usually above 100. It's been trading at, you know, around 120 or so. What I'm doing in oil is there's a lot of volatility, and I did my PhD modeling oil markets and currency markets. So I have a certain sense of what's going on in the oil market and the currency market. So so what I did was I I purchased right when it broke some serious psychological barriers. Boom, it started going up, going up, going up. So because of the nice up position that's happening, depending on if, something black swan event happens, but what's going to happen is that the market will go up. Gush will show a decent appreciation from the overnight trading. And right now, Gush was closed at about 108, and in the after hours, it's the high point in the after hours is 113. So it should appreciate in the first 15 minutes or half an hour trading, and then I'll close my position. It might continue to go up, but I'm going to take the profit that I made from Thursday. That's how and when you watch the market, either going up or going down, and you play this long position, short position, you will appreciate your portfolio accordingly. It'll grow quicker, but you have to pay attention. That's only if you're active. If you're passive, then, the best thing to do is on bad days, buy, SPX or, XPX or SPY, right? Not SPX, because you're a passive investor. If you're a little bit more active, then you can watch what's going on in SPXS or XPSL and close those positions. You don't want to hold a leverage position for very long. It's not smart. You can lose a lot of money when you do that. But if you're holding swing positions, 3, 4, 5 days, even a week or so, you can make a decent amount of money. So this is how you fix your inflation issue. If you're starting to see costs go up, you have to go out and do something. Either, start a business and be more active in investing, make your money work for you. That is how you solve the problem. Now, as you accumulate wealth, then purchasing properties, renting the property out, holding the property to build assets, that is wealth creation. But it starts somewhere, right? And, it's saving a little bit, and it's also, taking risks and just doing the grind, right? And then over time, you get a little bit more money. And then once you've accumulated some money, then you move it into a little bit safer arena, like real estate. But real estate that you buy property, it's nice, it's in a nice area, it has nice school system, and you can either live there or and have that appreciate, or you can rent it out, and you just keep on doing that. That's how you can get around this issue, instead of whining about, a lot of people whine about how expensive everything is. It is expensive, but the thing is, you need to start being proactive on how to neutralize that problem. If inflation is a problem, then go make some money in an environment that is taking advantage of the inflation. When inflation happens, markets go up, all right? There's volatility. And when there's volatility, you can play the up and the down. If it's low volatility, it's harder to play the up and the down because everything's going up, right? It's the slow walk. But most traders make their money in a volatile market. So, point being made, it seems as though the banking crisis at this moment is stabilized. Okay, what's the next big risk that could happen? On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve is going to announce their rate hike. They will rate hike. Why? Because we have inflation, and they have a dual mandate. That dual mandate is to control inflation and then to control unemployment. Not too hot for unemployment, not too cold for unemployment, right? So technically it's the full employment, and we've been over full employment. So there's a problem there. When you're over full employment, usually that is inflationary. There's some other problems that we have with inflation, especially with the reconfiguration of the supply chain as we leave China and we go to other countries or bring it back home. That has some costs as we build it out, because the supply chain that we had pre-COVID took about 30 years to build. So, okay, but it'll probably build quicker than the 30 years, you know, through technology and whatnot, and investing. Okay, so that means that market volatility on Wednesday is going to be high. Some people think because of the banking crisis, the Federal Reserve won't raise rates. Wrong. We have inflation. It's going to be probably 25. What we really need is 50, because inflation is still there. Banks are going to say, oh, I can't have 50 because I'm going to hurt my balance sheet. All the same problems that Credit Suisse had with having maturities, poorly managed banks, and when you'll have more of this risk exposure where you have bonds held to maturity accounts value really going down, but the accounting is such that it's marked to par, right? Because it's being held to maturity, or it's held to at purchase value. I don't remember the FASB on that, but point is that the held to maturity accounts are not marked to market like accounts that are securities for trading. So they have this curve exposure. The wrong reason to not raise rates a half a point, just because the banks are trying to wag the dog. The dog is the Federal Reserve, right? So, but I think Powell and the whole political environment is happening right now. And since we just had a somewhat political event with SVB happen and potentially some other regional banks, that the Federal Reserve will be a little bit more worried about the political fallout if a 50 basis point move is announced on Wednesday. So I think because of the political side of this, it's going to be 25 basis points. But in the economy, we really need a 50 basis point. The faster we kill inflation, the better off we are in the long run. It's going to hurt us short term, but the better off we will be in the long run. Now, so what does that mean to the markets? If it's zero move and they stay at zero or cut rates, which they won't be, but if that's going to be a major increase in the equity market and risk is going to be off. All right, there's going to be there's going to be a big push to bring up the market. I don't think that that's going to happen. They're not going to bring down the rates, and it's not going to be at zero in terms of not raising the rate. 25 is probably what's going to happen. If that does happen, then there's going to be a little volatility, because there's people on the fence that are going to say that's a sign that there's weakness in the economy and the market might go down. That there's also people in the trading world that see that as, okay, that is an easing position from the Federal Reserve, and therefore it's risk on, and go buy the market. I suspect that the market will rally on a 25 basis point move. Now, but there may be a head fake. It may rally and then drop down. There may be something that happens. So this is what you have to work. Normally those news announcements happen around 2 o'clock. So you may see kind of a down market in the morning, or right before 2, and then it starts to tick up, maybe waiting for the Fed announcement. It kind of flattens out. Fed announces, and there's these big moves up and down minutes after the Fed announcement. So there's going to be a lot of volatility in Wednesday. If you don't want to trade the volatility and just want to see where the markets are going to go, the trajectory, is it going to go a little bit more down or a little bit more up? It may be better not to trade on Wednesday. All right. But if you want to be risky, probably what's going to happen is the markets, I suspect, is going to go down before 2, and probably rally after 2. So it's probably best to not do anything until after 2 and see where the market's going, because you don't know what the Federal Reserve is going to say and what other shoe will drop. Chances are things have been stabilizing. We won't hear another banking issue probably until next week or over the weekend. So the best way to trade tomorrow is to wait for the Fed announcement. If you're actively investing, if it goes down, it's a perfect time to purchase equities if you're a long-term holder. So, purchase SPY. Okay, so that's my take on what's going on, how you trade the Federal Reserve tomorrow. Again, risk is on at this moment. It is 8:30. Market opens in an hour. Anything can happen. I've told you what to look at and how to position accordingly. Thank you for listening. And please subscribe to all my channels. I have 3 YouTube channels. I have Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. Please subscribe to all those channels. The links are in the description of this video. And you can go to my store. The link is in the description, the-studio-reykjavik.com. And when you go there, you can donate through Stripe or PayPal from the homepage down at the bottom to help support my work. Or you can please go to the area of the store that sells products, right? I sell books. I've written about finance and about biology and about artificial intelligence. So over the years, I don't know when I started writing. I think I started writing in 2010 or so. So I think I have 9 books or so. They're ebooks. So you can purchase those. You can purchase health products. I sell liquid nano silver gels and liquids that helps neutralize pathogens. I also sell soaps and lozenges that have the nano silver technology in it. And toothpaste. That toothpaste has nano silver in it. Doesn't have any fluoride. It's the best toothpaste that you can buy. And when you use that toothpaste, you're gonna go, oh my God, it's whitening the teeth better. It's neutralizing the pathogens better. It's improving the inflammatory gingivitis situation, and it improves your cardiovascular health. That's the best toothpaste that you can do. And if you do it regularly, you're actually going to improve your cardiovascular health. Now, in addition, I've partnered up with Boom Products. So what you can do is purchase a plethora of different products that I have. I have turmerics, ashwagandha, B vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, digestive enzymes, lignans, collagen, clarity factor, which is great, for jobs that are very demanding mentally, or if you're a student I take clarity factor twice a day. It's a great way to keep those neurons firing, and that you have the energy and the clarity to focus on your task. I sell a lot of really good products. And then C60 is a very strong antioxidant. It's going to be the best antioxidant you can get. And what that does is it soaks up all those reactive oxygen species, those charged oxygens that cause oxidative stress on the cell. When you reduce that, you are allowing your cell to improve its function, improve its mitochondrial health, increase ATP, you'll get more energy, and you'll have less necrotic situations in your tissue. All right, and then I've partnered up with Rainbow Herbals, and that product line is all natural deodorants. There's no aluminum in it at all. A lot of it is organic, certified. The essential oils that make up the actual deodorant bar are from the Himalayas. So it's in a unique environment that's more pure. And there's I know this sounds kind of foo-foo, but there's a spirit. How do I want to phrase this? There's a, because of the environment of the Himalayas, there's kind of a spiritual kind of environment, right? And so you can't, there's a resonance in molecules, right? There's a frequency in molecule. All molecules have frequencies, but there's been some research that if things are made with better ingredients and with the proper mind as it's being made, that it's better. It's a better compound. So these ingredients are very high quality essential oil ingredients that make up the deodorants and the Even Better bar. The Even Better bar is basically, it's kind of like a first aid bar, right? You apply it on for eczema or burns, cuts, rashes, muscle pain. I used it for when I was forced to take the Johnson & Johnson shot from medical school. You know, I used the Everything bar to reduce the soreness on the deltoid. Now, if you follow my protocol, which I've worked on for years, but if you follow my protocol, it is an anti-aging protocol. It's something I do every day. I've been doing it for a very long time. And it's based on the principle as time has gone on, and I've tweaked it, right, and improved it. It's based on 3 major pillars. Reduce pathogens by neutralizing them. Reduce reactive oxygen species. Reduce inflammation. It's very simple, right? And then you can hang stuff on those pillars, but the core of it is neutralize pathogens with nanosilver. Reduce reactive oxygen species with strong antioxidants like C60. Reduce inflammation and control your blood glucose levels with ashwagandha and turmeric. Then the other things that you add onto that are like the B vitamins and the pre and probiotics, the digestive enzymes complex, collagen, vitamin C, zinc. So if you focus on, you know, based on where you are at in your health and in your cash flow situation, but if you follow my protocol and tweak it to your needs, you're going to start seeing that your body is healing, slowing down aging, improving ATP. You're getting more energy. When you're moving around more, you'll have more muscle mass, and you will notice a huge difference relative to your peer group that's not doing that, and relative to the way you were before you started the protocol. And there's compounding effects. You know, if you take resveratrol at a regular basis, you take C60 at a regular basis, you're getting rid of bad cells. Slowly, the cells are apoptosing. You're getting rid of the senescent cells, and your tissues will start to actually age slower. And when those stem cells are activated, they're actually creating new cells because they're dividing out. And those cells will have longer telomeres versus the older cells that are in that tissue. So when more of that is happening, more recycling is happening. The average tissue telomere length goes down. The average telomere length will go up, meaning the age of the tissue is going down. Let me repeat that. We have stem cells in many of our tissues. They recycle. But once a cell divides up to a certain point, the telomere length shortens, and it usually goes in a senesced non-dividing state, or kind of like a dormant state. All right. If it starts to divide, usually because of the short telomere length, then you start, you know, having chromosomal instability, and then cancer may start to arise from that. But the point here is that when you have senescent cells, that your tissue age is increased because you have shorter telomere lengths. But when you get rid of the senescent cells and reactivate that stem cell situation, then the stem cell is going to rejuvenate. It'll produce newer cells that have longer telomere lengths. So over time, over a 2-year period, when this is happening in your body, when you do a biopsy before the protocol versus after the protocol or during the protocol, 2 years after the protocol has been initiated, you'll start to notice that your tissue, the actual tissue age due to telomere lengths, the age of the tissue has gone down. The telomere lengths have gone up. It's not that you're growing telomere lengths. It's just that you're getting rid of some of the senescent cells, and the average tissue length, telomere length in the tissue has increased. You literally at the cellular level have reduced aging. You've reduced the aging process. That's why we call it anti-aging. Now, everyone's going to die, right? And you can't hide that fact, but you can improve your health. The point is that you can improve your health by something that's very simple: the 3 pillars: neutralize pathogens, reduce reactive oxygen species, and reduce inflammation, the pro-inflammatory response. When you do that, you're going to bring your body back to a healthier state. A great way to stop cardiovascular disease, because a lot of cardiovascular, not all, but a lot of cardiovascular disease is the buildup of plaque, right? Atherosclerosis. So how does that work? Well, you get an inflamed situation. It damages the endothelium of the vessel, the blood vessel. So the intima is damaged. People have LDL. It gets oxidized. It gets eaten up by macrophages in this inflamed area, and it starts to build these foam cells that lead to plaque buildup. Calcium will come in. Also, there's muscle cells, smooth muscle cells around the vessel that will migrate into the plaque area, build a fibrous cap, and now you have blocked or clogging arteries. Well, you can reduce the buildup of that by having C60. It neutralizes those reactive oxygen species that oxidize the LDL. It reduces that chance of it. When you reduce the inflammatory, the inflammation from glucose to high glucose levels, and just overall inflamed response, when you reduce that, the early stage of making the injury in the intima of the blood vessel reduces also. How do you do that? Control your blood glucose levels with ashwagandha. Reduce the inflammation with the turmerics, right? Then through cardiovascular studies, if you take K2 and K7 with D3, follow this anti-inflammatory protocol that I'm talking about, right? Which is the ashwagandha and the turmeric. It will mimic what's going on in their study with the metformin. Metformin controls blood glucose levels, where you control blood glucose levels with ashwagandha. And what will happen is that over time, you're actually shrinking, not just reducing the further buildup, but shrinking the buildup of plaque. All right. So taking omega-3 helps to control your lipid profile. There's a lot that you can do if you just do the cardiovascular part of this. You're going to get better blood flow, and when you get better blood flow, your tissues are perfused better, and you're going to be healthier. A lot of aging is that slow ischemic buildup, where organ systems and tissues aren't getting the blood flow that it normally gets, and it slowly goes into a stressed environment. It's not getting as much nutrients, and then it causes a problem like cancers and accelerated aging. So if you just follow what I'm saying, those 3 pillars, it's going to improve your health. Today, I've told you how to make money in the market. and how to improve your health. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and purchase the health products that I offer. Thank you for listening. Again, it is the-studio-reykjavik.com. So please help support my work by going to my store and purchasing the products, by donating, and also make sure you subscribe to all my channels. Thank you for listening and have a good day.